Are you, man?
I'm good, Neil. How are you doing? Heard you were a
Fan,
little sick.
huh? Well,
You were a
yeah,
little sick.
yeah. Got a little flu, overcame it. Now I'm ready back. I think I needed that rest and ready to roll into a very, very end of Q1, getting ready for Q2. Which is busy, busy time. You have an interesting topic today. We talked about this with Dr. Loria, but really, you're going to bring this a different perspective because of you learned about the procedure and how important it is for some
Well,
guys.
yeah, also I think it's something that a lot of guys don't talk about. I want to get into a little bit about the cosmetic aspect of what we do. And my journey with this started several years ago. I was looking to get closer to my kids, and I took a job doing liposuction, tummy tucks, the cosmetic side of thing, which was highly different from what I was used to as doing orthopedics. So with the with it, as an orthopedic surgeon, we were so much more interested in function, over form. Um, and most women are very astute on the cosmetic aspects of things. The Juvederm injections, for wrinkles, for lip filler, BBLs, and liposuction. But it's not something that men really talk about a lot. And then we got involved in this male enhancement procedure, which is primarily it's a cosmetic aspect of things. And I found it very interesting. We were talking about it, that you can actually get larger. You can increase your size, and it's hard for men to understand a lot of times. But I think for me, it comes down to understanding it's a similar procedure to a tattoo, really. With the male enhancement, we have this product that we use from Dr. Loria, who was on the program before, and we inject this. It's a silicon particle that we inject into the skin, and like I said, it's similar to a tattoo. It's really just going underneath the superficial layer of the skin. You do injections of this. It's fine particles of silicone which goes into that layer. And when you get a tattoo, your body reacts to that by sending white cells, and the immune system goes in to engulf those ink particles. It's similar with the silicone particles. Your immune system goes in and engulfs those little silicone particles, and then it lays down a sheet or a layer of collagen. And the collagen is what gives you the increased size. So the procedure increases your girth, which is something that is important for stimulation of the women. They say length. It's not length, it's girth, and that's what this procedure does. Now, I don't know if it's something that you've heard of before talking to me and Dr. Loria, because it's not a common thing.
Yeah, definitely. So go. I think this might be on my. Okay. Yeah, go ahead with your next point.
Okay, yeah, so the silicone particles go in and increase the size of the skin. It gets laid down with collagen. So after one procedure, we're looking at about a 3/4 to 1 inch of increased circumference in the penis. Which will increases the size that way. People ask about length, and you will get some flaccid length improvement, but typically the erect size is the same no matter what. So it's not a matter of length with this procedure, but girth, but width. And it gives guys that extra cosmetic appearance of size, but also that extra stimulation during performance. So I think it's something that a lot of guys really look for. Um, and it's been amazing to me, the response that we've been getting on some of our ads, some of our um, we've been advertising on Instagram and Facebook, and guys are calling, guys are interested in being a little bigger, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Interesting. And so in the procedure, what other things would you like to say about that procedure in so many ways
Yeah,
for yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's great because it's a non-surgical procedure. It's just through injections. I said very similar to when women will get they'll get Botox is a little different, but filler, they'll get skin filler. As you inject, it's the product that they use with the injections for women is a hyaluron improve, hyaluron substance. It's like a gel material. We use a similar thing in the knees for cushion, but they'll inject it in and it plumps up the face, to help with some of those wrinkles. But this is it's a permanent product. So it's a way to, with just injections and non-surgical, it adds, extra girth and extra width to to your size.
Okay. And basically, who are you seeing coming out asking for this?
Oh, I mean, it's usually men in their, 30s, 40s, 50s, that middle age part where they're still functional, still interested in performance. But they just, they've been a little a little insecure about their size, a little insecure about their performance. And it gives them that extra girth, to just give them more confidence, and like I said, with men, we don't often think about appearance per se, but this is something that men really should consider as a way to kind of boost your confidence, boost your performance. And it's amazing to me the response that we're getting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just something else to improve things and the process to be considering this performance. What do you, I mean, this procedure, talk about it.
Yeah, it takes about 6 weeks for the collagen to get laid down. So during that period, it's painless. We bring people in, and we numb the skin with a lidocaine cream. And when guys are getting the procedure, they don't feel it. We'll lay them down, and we've got a TV above our OR table, and so they'll watch Netflix or whatever we have on TV, and you ask them, how you feeling? Are you doing okay? And it's a painless procedure. So then, we do a wrap procedure afterwards, which helps keep things smooth and even. And then over the next 6 weeks or so, your immune system is going to respond to it. The white cells are going to lay down. It's going to increase that girth and that size. So, it's something that guys are, that we had a guy several weeks ago, and he came in and has just been so thrilled. He came in for his post-op visit, and it's like, so how was the procedure? He's like, oh, no pain, nothing. I had zero pain, and they're able to go back to work the same day. You go back, and it's a process of wrapping every day until things are fully established. And then guys are coming back for, I think 2 procedures are, kind of it's a nice recommendation if you're going to do it 2 times, and the second time, builds onto the first, allows that first one to kind of get settled and mature, and then increase size again one more time.
Okay. And once you have that,
Yeah.
there you go.
But we also do, there's also things we can do with hair. We use the PRP. We've talked about PRP procedures, for performance and for knees. PRP is called platelet-rich plasma. What we do with that is we take your blood, we spin your blood down, and then we remove the red cell component, and then we use that plasma that's left over. And the plasma has all the healing elements that you need for rejuvenation,
Right.
for to reduce pain, but it also helps with to stimulate hair growth, or to discriminate. We can do it in the face. We can do PRP injections in the face to help fill in some of those little finer lines. And these are things that I think men are being more aware. Men are going through divorces, separations, and they're getting back in the market, so to speak. And they're looking to look a little healthier, look a little younger, improve their appearance. And like I said, that's something as an orthopedic surgeon that we didn't really focus on much. But I'm seeing that guys that they're interested. They're competing with, they're competing with women who are out there doing a lot of these procedures. If they're getting back in the market, they may be looking at a younger partner. And they want to look good, they want to feel good, and this is a way to do that.
And so you talked about hair replacements in different places. Any
Yeah,
hair, any hair removal do you guys do?
we're not doing no, we're not doing hair removal. But the PRP can help stimulate me. Guys like me and you, we're not good candidates for that.
No,
So
so what happened? I started going on this one patch and it's starting to grow in, so I have to shave it fast now. It's all these little hairs are starting to grow. I
what
don't
what
even
kind of patch
understand
is
it.
what kind of patch is that?
X39
Oh, I
from
don't know.
LifeWave, yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, and it's unreal. Yeah, a ton of different benefits I get from that. But
Mhm.
what I'm saying, it's interesting when you talk about that because I mean that stuff. Yes, guys want to look like stay looking good, especially if like you're in a certain career or certain thing. You got to keep looking good. You got to be out in front of your clients. You want to stay young, not say, okay, you're too old now. It's time to retire. You don't want to retire. You want to look young and hip. Got to go.
Yeah, like I said, especially, when you're in the process of losing your hair initially. The PRP, when you start getting those fine little hairs,
Yeah.
the hairline is receding a little bit. With PRP, you take the plasma and you paint it into
Right.
the skin, and then using micro needles, we're able to kind of drive
Right.
that deeper, and that stimulates, further hair growth and thickness. That the little part in the crown and the back, it's helpful for that as well.
It's big. All right. Well, the best place to go is the ultimatemensclinic.com. It's in New Bedford, Massachusetts, but you do online consultations for men who are interested in testosterone replacement therapy or some of the other stuff, especially if you're not near Massachusetts, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we cover a broad area, and for some of these, especially for the male enhancement procedure, guys are doing it with the gel, the hyaluronic, but they're not doing the permanent procedure. So we have guys travel from several states over to come see us. So I think it's very valuable for that.
All right. That was the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Ultimate Men's Movement, guys. Take care.